keep saying I'll start on Monday, and Monday never comes. I go on a holiday soon, and I really want a bigger bum and a smaller waist. Can you help?
Look, if you wanna come gym, make sure you put the work in. Some wanna get fit, some wanna get slim, some wanna start competing, but enough of them just can't stop cheating. When their belly is full, they're still eating. Me, I practice what I'm teaching. They don't live what they're...
What's up, Fit Fam? This is Giovanni of Gio's Logic, your host of Fitness Junkeez. I hope this show meets you in good health and spirits, and if not, I hope it inspires you to do something about it. Wow, man, that really means something different to me today because as we just spoke a little bit, I'm refocusing the podcast to explore spirituality and fitness and healing. And I thought you'd be the perfect guest to start with because, well, let's find out a little bit more about you.
Okay.
I always ask my clients, what's your fitness journey? Mm-hmm. When did it start? It could be high school, cheerleader, whatever it is, and how you got to where you are now.
Okay. Well, I definitely played sports growing up. Basketball, softball, tennis, snowboarding, wakeboarding, all of the activities growing up. And then after high school, I went down the route of touring with musicians and managing merchandise on the road.
Okay.
So my health journey kind of took a back seat.
Right. Late nights.
Right.
Partying a little bit.
Yes, all of it.
Okay.
All of it. And
Okay.
when I did that for about 10 years, and when I came off the road, I knew that that was not sustainable for me. I didn't want to be, the 50-year-old woman still partying.
Right.
I wanted to clean myself up and be a lot healthier than I was. So I started studying holistic health and nutrition. And I had already known that the connection between nutrition and the quality of our lives was there, that we can heal our bodies through nutrition and supplementation. That like over-the-counter medications are great for suppressing symptoms, but we need to heal from within, and that's with our nutrition choices.
Right.
That journey led me to join a gym because I genetically have high cholesterol, and so I had to manage that. And my doctor was like, you have to go to the gym, you have to start doing cardiovascular exercise, start really watching what you eat. And so that got me more onto the fitness side of things. As time went on, I earned my personal training certification and found that that was a great way to start talking to people individually about nutrition and holistic health because it's all related. You can't have fitness without nutrition, and you can't have the nutrition without the fitness part. People try to supplement their ways to health.
Right.
What can I take for this? What can I take for that? But we have to move our bodies to heal them.
That's great. Was there somebody along the way that was inspirational to really kind of dive into the fitness and nutrition, or was it just the doctor, or what do you think it was?
The nutrition, I don't know. It was just something inside of me that I always wanted to learn about. So I would go to the bookstore and start getting books about complementary and alternative medicine, different diets like the acid and alkaline diet. There was a Barnes & Noble down the street from where I grew up, so I would spend all of my free time in there looking at natural health encyclopedias, learning about herbalism, aromatherapy, reflexology. I was so curious about how the body works and how we can support it.
Wow.
Yeah.
So how many modalities do you use with your clients? Or I guess it varies.
Yeah, it varies from person to
what
person.
They need, basically.
Mm-hmm. But we always start with the foundation. And
right.
the foundation is get your physical activity together, getting an organized plan for your fitness, and get your nutrition under control. It's so crazy how many people don't think about their nutrition as being an essential part of their wellness.
Yeah. And mood, wellness, what do they say? Food is thy medicine?
Yes.
So that's preach to that statement. So we talked about your fitness journey. Talk a little bit more. Has there been any spiritual journey, or where does spirituality show up in your life, and as it went through your little different pockets of life?
Yeah. So for me, I always pay attention to energy and the laws of energy, and I have my own relationship with God and spirituality. I grew up Catholic, and so that was kind of like very strict, going to church every Sunday.
Yeah.
And then when my grandparents on my mom's side passed, and we stopped going to church because that was her thing with her parents, my mom's thing. So we practiced our own way. We would talk to God and our relatives just at home, outside.
With your mom?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
Just speaking to the stars and the sky, because their energy is always there and they're always within us.
Yeah.
And it's up to us to keep them alive too.
Yeah. I just met somebody a few months ago, and she reminded me of that thing. And because my father, who's passed away, he's passed away in 2004, he was my spiritual guru. And like he gave me books, and like the first book he gave me was Love is Letting Go of Fear. I don't know if you've ever read it. It's a great book. Get it if you haven't got it. Real simple, easy read, but like almost like grade school level, and it just talks about the basics of like love and like, not being reactionary. But she's like, and I told her like my father was my guru, and it's been 20 years since he's passed, and she's like, you can still talk to him.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay. And I'm like, so I have like a daily practice that I do. I kind of call it like a hybrid meditation and prayer and gratitude and everything else, manifestations. I make a whole potion every morning. And, I really want to give people some energy into building a fitness lifestyle with more than just the meal prep and a workout, and because kind of like you said earlier, people are always looking for the pill or the little thing or the meal plan. All they need is that, and then they'll get there. But as you know, I'm sure, there's so much more to keep you aligned with what you're trying to do.
Yeah.
So you're saying that you guys started talking to the past, the people that passed away. Did you ask for guidance and help and direction, like with the Creator? Like, are there some tools that you can share that helped you, that might help others?
For me, it's more about diving deeper within and finding more about who I am and my place in the world.
Your purpose?
Yeah.
Okay.
My purpose, my place, and helping others to get healthy has been a primary driver for me.
Nice.
Because I've learned that if I can heal myself in the ways that I'm trying to teach others, it will come a lot easier for them if I can guide them in the process. And a lot of it is very faith-based. You have to have faith that your body is going to make the changes. You have to have faith that your body is going to heal. And everyone's journey is going to be a little bit different.
Right.
So we all encounter these obstacles of, I would say, what is it when you're like not self-destructive, but self-sabotage. Yeah, we all have that little self-sabotage voice inside of us that we have to overcome, and we have to have faith that the outcomes are going to come for us as we do the work. So I guess to me, I feel like having faith within myself and my Creator and in the laws of energy and in the universe, all of it comes back to basics, to how I feel in my relationship with myself. And so I have to teach people that too.
So we talked briefly about that and how I'm finding out now that I've had this awakening that took 40 years, that a lot of people do have a spiritual practice, but I think also a lot of people, when you mention God, and I personally don't see that as Jesus Christ, a man. If anything, it's probably a woman. But it's like that could be the disconnect for them, like their mind is like, oh, this trainer's going to give me a meal plan and a workout and send me on my way. Do you like, how do you like investigate where they're comfortable? Like, each person's different.
It can be challenging, because most people do have a wall up, especially in the beginning, because, people have had so many experiences, and a lot of people have tried diets and then, they haven't been able to maintain them. So they constantly think that the trainer is just trying to like get them on board, sell them a plan, and just keep selling them things.
Right. The next greatest meal plan. That's what I need. Low carb, high protein, low protein.
Yeah. I try to dive deeper, just by asking more questions like, well, what do you like? Realistically speaking, how many days are you going to be able to commit to these things? Do you want me to add like a morning meditation into your routine so that you can dive a little bit deeper and find your internal motivation for these changes? Because not everyone can find that. They don't think about it. They don't think about their why on a deeper level. Right.
That's a very interesting, it sounds like you have like, you send out feelers and see where they're at.
I have to see where they're comfortable.
Right.
And then if they shut me down, we just move to a different topic, you know? So it just takes time to get to know people and for them to feel comfortable.
So, a lot of the things that I've been like relearning lately is that, I know when you have that groundedness in a higher power, you can't be heavy-handed, like you said, with everybody and go, you have to believe in God or you're not going to work, or it's not going to work. But there's also something to be said with, we talked earlier about how much failure is in personal training.
Yes.
And what I mean by that is a lot of people can get results and do get results with all levels of trainers, all different types of trainers. But most of the time when they stop with the trainer, they gain it back plus.
Right.
So I personally know that without my spiritual practice, I would be lost as far as having a direction and being able to sustain a lifestyle. But what I'm curious about is when you know something in your heart, in your soul, and you're trying to share it with somebody, do you sometimes have a point where it's like, oh well, I guess I'll just take the money and not worry about what I know because they're not ready to handle it? Or is it case by case? How do you deal with that? Like not being able to share this amazing thing you have with them.
Yeah. It's case by case. Okay. Yeah. I have had people who have, prepaid for 6 months, we'll say, and then they completely drop off, and I'm just constantly messaging them like, hey, are you okay? Like, what's going on? But I'm still very attentive, if and when they do want to respond.
Right.
But sometimes people aren't ready for it.
Right.
They think that they want to change, but in their heart, they're not there yet.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Limiting beliefs.
And sometimes people are afraid of change.
Oh, God.
They're afraid of who they will be if they're not the victim.
Right.
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 What's my identity if I'm not 50 pounds overweight, if I don't seek junk food for comfort?
Right.
They have like an identity crisis.
Right.
I've had that too.
Right. So so part of my journey on this show is, there's thoughts of, well, what if my audience doesn't really want to hear about spirituality, or how it, are they interested in what, Flex Lewis, does every morning, and maybe he has a spiritual practice, or, but like, I feel like for me, because at this point, this is not my sole source of income, I need to try and be true to who I am and be authentic.
Yeah.
But I know, like, if I'm a trainer at whatever gym, and I've had people all my life where there's different levels of connection. Mm-hmm. Like, when you're a good trainer, they usually are on some level attracted to your energy, especially if they keep coming.
Yeah.
And keep buying and keep buying. But they also may not have, you also may see a potential in them that they're not tapping into because they're closed off to it.
Yeah.
I feel like it's such a hard place when someone's enlightened to not necessarily, not necessarily push it, but like go, hey, let's start with this. Just do 5 things you're grateful for every morning. Write it down.
Yeah. That's a hard one.
Right.
Yeah, I used to have that in the program for everybody, all of my online clients too.
Uh-huh.
But 5 was very challenging.
Yeah.
So then I cut it down to 3.
Right.
I was like, okay, well, how about 3 things that you're grateful for or that you're proud of accomplishing this week?
Right.
And sometimes even that was too challenging.
Right.
So I just cut that out unless they want to specifically focus on those things.
Right. It's so interesting. I'm finding that the more I'm open to talking, like wearing my spiritual flag, the more people I see that are on a desperate journey to be healed.
Right.
Like, desperately. Like, it's amazing how many people are drawn to finding an answer. And as we know, it's definitely fitness, it's definitely nutrition, but this other piece, when you plant that seed, and they figure out how to water it, it changes so many lives. And I'm sure you have all these different levels of amazing stories.
Yeah.
Are there any ones that you think of that were this person will never get it, or you had maybe some intuition that was maybe not what it was, and they've blossomed into something amazing? Do you have anything like that?
I think both happen. Sometimes the people who start out really hard, really fast, and are super committed are the ones that end up falling short in the end. They burn themselves out. But in the beginning, they seem like, oh my gosh, you are a superstar. We're doing everything right. All the changes are happening. And then that self-sabotage comes in.
Right.
Where I don't know what happens. I don't know what that switch is, but I keep trying to carry them, and I'm like, it's okay. You can have a bad week. You can have a bad month. But we have to continue at least being somewhat active and a little bit conscious of our food choices, just to maintain general health.
Right.
And I think most recently, an aha moment for a client was where she told me, I'm not going to focus on the weight on the scale anymore, and I'm only going to focus on getting stronger. And I was like, yes. That's exactly what we want. We just want you to get stronger, get healthier, feed your body for the changes that we want to see. Don't worry so much about the measurements and the statistics. We need to find your core power and build that foundation first.
Yeah.
And that's, I think, my favorite part is when people do find that I'm going to do this and I'm just going to trust the process.
Right.
Yeah.
It's so interesting. I don't know who I was talking to yesterday, but they said to me, my friend, this guy named David James, he said, it's, nutrition is so important. And I said, yeah, nutrition is important, but like, so is spirituality. And he said, yeah, you're feeding your soul as well.
Yeah. And everything is faith-based.
Yeah.
I can't give you the result that you want. You have to find it.
Right. And I was like, wow, yeah, that is nutrition for your soul, what you're feeding your mind. Like, when so many people are caught in this bubble, like, I need this bubble, I need this fix, and I need it in this box, but that's so limiting.
Yes.
And it's my goal to kind of, again, just share the magic of having something else to call upon that is really more powerful than any of it, like you're saying, faith.
Yeah.
I wanted to read something to you and see what you thought. Letting go of the thought of your desired outcome and your intention doesn't mean giving up on the desire. It means trusting that the outcome will unfold the best way possible, even if it differs from your original thought. What do you think about that? Or maybe does that resonate with you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Because we all start out these journeys with I will say, an end point in mind, but it evolves over time, and there's never an end. It's just a constant evolution from one phase to the next, to the next, to the next. When I started the fitness journey, it was, I need to get my cholesterol under control.
Right.
And then I started getting stronger, and I started feeling better. And I just started learning more about how my body works, anatomy, physiology, biology, how to heal injuries, all of the factors that go into fitness with nutrition involved. And for me now, it's, like I said, just a constant evolution. Like, what's in this next phase for me? I'm going to keep pushing myself. I'm going to keep pushing my limits. But I don't know what the end result's going to be, because there's no goal. Like, there's no end. Right. Yeah. It's like little markers.
Do you find in life, not just in the gym, but it's sometimes difficult to not be invested in the outcome?
Yes.
I want this, I want love, I want success, or whatever it is, and to kind of apply something like that. That's what I kind of want to stress to people, that the expectations we have on a lot of things are okay. It's good to have those directions,
right?
But realize that, and have faith that it will work out in the best way for you,
right?
And it's not happening to you; it's happening for you,
right?
But it's so difficult.
It is, yeah, especially when they're going through it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So talk a little bit more about like your holistic healing that you do. Like, it's kind of like, do people come to you for training and you then find out they need to heal something, or do you heal like past trauma? Do you heal holistically or alternatively, and the microbiome? Like, what are all the things you do?
It's all inclusive.
All of the above.
Yeah, it's all a factor. If our digestive system and microbiome isn't optimal, we're not going to digest our food properly. We're not going to be able to use the nutrients. I have clients with digestive problems like ulcerative colitis. I have clients with PCOS, high cholesterol, high blood pressure, all of the standard ones. And it all goes down to the basics, the foundation first, the movement and the nutrition. And then after we have some time with those, then we can start looking at supplements like herbalism, aromatherapy practices. So many people are so stressed out. So that's another factor. How do we manage stress levels?
Right.
Is it going to be in meditation? Is it going to be, going to church every week once a week? Do you find going for walks outdoors to be soothing for you? Everyone is so different that, you know, there's not one way to help everyone.
Right.
If I had that answer,
you'd be doing this interview. I don't know. You'd be somewhere else. Anyway.
Yeah. I think we're all looking for that answer, you know, but like everyone is such an individual, and how we grow up is a factor too. Like our relationship with food, our relationship with activity. You know, did your parents force you to play sports when you were younger? Did they, you know, leave you at home alone so you were just eating Hot Pockets?
Right.
You know?
Right.
So we have to look at every part of how the person grew up, what their current habits are, if there's any serious health conditions that we have to be worried about, and just start from square one with the basics and go from there.
Do you have anyone that you get into like real trauma stuff? Like, do they share that kind of stuff with you? Like, you know, abuse and all the numerous things that could have gone. They do.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And part of your, is it diagnosis or a prognosis? Does it come with like everything, like nutrition, supplementation, movement, spirituality?
Yeah, it just depends on the person and what they're open to.
Right.
Is there, you know, I don't know if you have experience with people who have had traumatic upbringings or events happen. There are certain things that will trigger, you know, resistance to change.
Right.
And so you have to be very careful when you dance around those topics, or
do you
guide
ask
them
about
into.
That? Do you ask about
I
trauma?
will ask as much as they're willing to share.
Got it.
You know, like, so if there is a moment of resistance, like, is everything okay? Like, why are these certain foods, you know, why are you opposed to including things like this? Or why is this movement uncomfortable? Like, you have to be very careful with it.
Deeper.
Yeah.
Right,
but just ask the right guiding questions to dig it up. And then sometimes I've had one client write me like an 8-page Word document of all of the stuff.
Oof.
Right. And so that obviously helps me understand why they're resistant to some of the changes and why there's certain coping mechanisms. And I have worked with people with substance abuse problems. I have had substance abuse problems from being on the road.
Okay. Right.
So I totally understand self-medicating and just trying to suppress things and not deal with them. But at the end of the day, it's up to us to take control and to make the decisions to heal those parts of us.
So, what you train or coach, or what do you call what you do, like let's say with your online clients, opposed to what you do with in-person clients? Or is it you're at another, like a...
Yeah, I do in person as well as strictly online. And again, it just varies depending on what they need. Some people strictly just want fitness and nutrition. They see my social media and they want to get stronger.
Right.
You know, she knows what she's talking about. She knows what she's doing. I like the way, you know, I'm very flexible with my food when I'm not, you know, intentional with losing weight or whatever. Right. So a lot of people want that. They want that flexibility, like to eat some pizza every now and then and not feel so guilty about it.
Right. And so you're at Lifetime, right?
Yeah.
For your one-on-ones? Mm-hmm. Do they allow you to bring in all your
We can talk about nutrition and all of that. But I think, honestly, even just with physical fitness, with fitness and nutrition, we do have to dive deeper anyway, just to find out like what's going to make them want to make the changes when it gets hard.
Right.
You know?
What are you feeding your mind, your body?
What do you do to relax? You know, like how are you winding down at the end of the day?
Right.
We see a lot of like doctors, lawyers, you know, people that are in high stress environments.
Right.
a lot. And
Right.
so them taking care of themselves outside of the 1 hour that I have with them is also very important.
Yeah. Do you find that these, the affluent kind of uber successful people that tend to go to Lifetime have all the answers a lot? Or is it
We're all
also...
in the same boat. We're all on the same journey.
Okay. That's good to know.
Yeah.
That's good to know.
Some people have a little bit more experience in some areas than others. I find it's helpful to learn from some of the other trainers there, all the different coaches with their different styles of training, and just their outlook on everything, because everyone has a different specialty.
Right. So what do you tend to draw in as far as clients? Mostly women, men?
It's a mix.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Pretty much even?
I would say probably 75% female,
Okay.
25% male.
Okay. And all walks of life?
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. So talk a little bit more about you, and you just dropped a bone out of your mouth with the substance abuse
Yes.
on the road. How did your spiritual foundation help in that transition, or did it? Or
I didn't really know that I had a problem until I came off the road and didn't want to stop.
okay.
So I thought I was just having a good time. I thought
Right.
I was just, partying with everybody.
Because that's what you did.
Yeah, 'cause that's what we did every night.
Right.
But I learned that I'm not the type that can just have a drink or have a shot and be able to turn it off. Those brain pathways, which I've learned about, are always going to be there. So as soon as that one little drop of alcohol opens the gate, it's flooded. It's just, where's the next one? Where's the next one? Where's the next one?
Right.
Yeah.
And so are you sober?
Yeah.
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
For how long?
Oh, 6 years now?
Wow.
I think 6 or 7.
And what was the method you used to get sober?
Fitness and nutrition.
Okay.
Yeah. And just
And
learning
spirituality,
more.
or
Learning more about brain health. I don't know if you're familiar with Dr. Daniel Amen. He does brain scans for people with SPECT scans, where they measure the activity level in the brain.
I think I know. Is he like a older white guy?
Yeah.
With white hair, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I started reading some of his books and Dr. Joe Dispenza's books about, about
neurosurgeons
yes.
that can see what's going on when you do things and put things in your body. Yeah.
Right, and how to pave new pathways to let the other ones fade away.
Right.
But they're never gone forever.
Right.
Which we have to remember.
Yeah. Those are some of the people that I... what was the thing? Is it... that guy is like... Doesn't he do an ant?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Killing the ants.
Right.
Automatic negative thoughts.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So... Yeah, I mean, that's a whole nother bag of goods there. We kind of, as fitness people, kind of have to maintain this positivity, this energy, but we're also human, and we're also having those negative movies playing as well. Do you have... with all your knowledge that you seeked and started incorporating into your life, just educating yourself, do you now have like a practice? How do you stay on track? Do you do a morning thing? Do you do an afternoon thing? Do you do every hour thing?
I'm not good with routines like that. No, I've tried to get into journaling. I've tried to get into, listing the things that I'm grateful for every day. And I'm usually pretty good for about 2 weeks. And then I just...
Something happens.
Yeah, I just don't continue it.
Okay.
I'm terrible with that. So like my morning routine now is just wake up, make coffee, make breakfast, walk the dogs. And so I guess my walking the dogs is my sort of meditation. It's like a walking meditation for me, where I'm just present where I am with the dogs in, the atmosphere around me on our walks. Yeah.
Okay. And what are some of the things that you do to stay on track when you do have these, program things from your subconscious that are coming in? Do you have disconnect, or what do you do?
If I'm in an environment where, it's very familiar to the old version of myself, I will just make sure that I have a water with me at all times, and I'm just sipping on my water and, just taking care of myself.
Right.
I just have to mentally remind myself to take care of myself, and that, I don't need to partake in alcohol or anything else to have a good time with my friends. Yeah.
Yeah, I've been trying to see what the sober life is, because I'm at the point where when I do go out and not drink, it's kind of boring.
I get it. I get it.
And I don't I probably drank more in December than I drank all year, and that's probably 6 drinks.
Right.
There's not a lot, but
if you're not the type of person who has to kill the bottle,
no,
then you're, drinking in moderation is fine for some people.
But I don't know. A lot of people are now saying that it's a neurotoxin. And it's not good.
Well, that's why you feel
on any level.
That's why you feel the way you do when you do drink.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, I don't know about you, but it sounds like you have a little bit more flexibility, but like you start educating yourself more and more and more, and you find out like, God, I can't do that. I can't do that. I learned this year that aluminum foil is toxic.
Oh.
Don't use it. I'm like, oh shit, aluminum foil? There's so much stuff out there. It's like, well, you kind of have to have some moderation, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, unless you decide to, unplug and live out back somewhere. But it's just, you start to go, okay, no alcohol, no sugar, no starch. It's like, what do I do now? I'm just going to sit here.
I'm on a no sugar kick right now.
You are?
Because, for January.
Okay.
Because I have a sweet tooth, and similar to the alcohol that I used to drink, the sugar gets kind of addictive for me.
Oh, yeah.
So I do this little cleanses throughout the year just to detox and, get it out of my system. Yeah. But usually I'll set little timelines for myself, like I said, for January. So all of January, no desserts, no sweets.
Okay.
Yeah. And then we'll see how I feel at the end of that. If I want to
continue.
Yeah. If I want to continue, or if I want to have a frozen custard, we'll see how I feel at the end of it.
What about fruit?
Fruit's fine.
Okay.
Yeah. I have no problem with fruit,
okay.
especially if you're eating it whole.
Okay.
Especially berries. Blueberries, raspberries, blackberries. Yeah. They're full of antioxidants, full of fiber, full of vitamins. Right. So those are beneficial.
So if somebody came to you that you kind of found out that they had something to heal. Mm-hmm. I think we all do.
Of course.
But this person was open to discussing it. You would then approach it. I just want to get a feel, or the people that are listening, to get a feel how you would approach them and how you would maybe start a plan. Let's say they were overweight, they were open to spirituality, you felt like there was something going on. Mm-hmm. What are some of the things that you would kind of, start their journey with in one of your programs?
Always just starting with the basics. So we evaluate the nutrition together, the physical activity together. If they're drinking enough water, that's a huge factor. Most people aren't drinking enough water. And then just what are the daily habits? You know, what time do you go to work? What time do you come home? Do you have kids? What are their activities? What time are you going to bed? Are you drinking coffee or tea later in the day? There's just so many factors, and everyone's so different that I can't really...
You dissect their stresses, their daily behaviors, their activities.
Yes.
And then from there...
From there, we come up with a plan together. How can I get you moving a little bit more? Can we start with like resistance bands at home? Do you have like dumbbells maybe? Just if you don't have time to go to a gym, what can we do to move your body and stimulate your tissue just from home? And we just start baby steps.
And do you have a baby step with, you talked about 3 gratitude things a day. Is there a baby step for that? Is that it?
It would be, the 3, or at least 1.
Right.
Just give me 1.
Right.
Just give me one thing
but,
that you're grateful for.
But you don't do that, but you basically try and...
I have to find what's going to work for them. Some people do love it. They love journaling. They love the 3 things to be grateful for.
Right.
And then some people are just completely, this is not my thing. I don't want to do it.
Right.
Yeah.
Kind of like you.
Right. Yeah. I tried.
So very interesting. So with your cleanses and your program, is there anything that you do like with your clients? You do challenges? Do you do...
Sometimes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have anything coming up now, like New Year's resolution, highway?
It's so hard because everyone, I try to do the group challenges and stuff, but because I'm so focused on the individual, it's so hard for me. I can't do group classes because I'm so specific to the individual.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
And so what, other than stuff like this, are you doing? Obviously social media, where I found you.
Yeah.
Do you have anything that you're kind of working on or that you want to talk about?
I have a website that lists all of the services, and there's
What's your website?
It's www.holisticteresa.com.
Okay. And it lists all your services?
Yeah, because I have the brain health certification through the Amen Clinic, so I can help people with ADD, ADHD, addiction problems. We can start sorting through the nutrition, and I can guide them to the supplements that he provides.
Okay.
Yeah, and more learning material through him. I have a youth fitness certification, so if your kids are in sports, I can help them kind of like tune up, get faster, work on their agility and strength.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And you can do that online as well?
Yeah.
Okay. And you probably mostly do that online?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
What else?
Like I said, holistic health, nutrition, fitness nutrition, corrective exercises for injuries.
Holistic health.
Yeah.
What is that?
That's with that's everything all together.
Okay.
So the fitness, the nutrition, a little bit of the spirituality too.
Okay.
Just trying to help people live their life a little bit more present, I would say.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Well, I feel like this was a really good jump off for the show and the direction it's headed. It's going to be an evolving kind of thing, you know, kind of like you. Like,
everything, always.
Yeah. But this is a great start. I think, I dug your energy on your page, on your IG page, and your messaging was really good. So I was I need to get her on the show. And so thank you for making the time.
Of course.
And until next time, Fit Fam, I'm out.